Hi everybody, I'm back again. It's Kat, and I'm going to talk about how I got a 75% scholarship in Korea. To update people who are actually subscribed to my channel, you're probably looking for Mr. Moon. Mr. Moon is still here. We just have moved to Seoul because my school is in Seoul now, and we are preparing our apartment and just getting our lives together a bit after taking a break from my past job. So hopefully if COVID calms down and stays pretty low, we will start making more content in the future. But for now, this is just for application season and to help people who want to come into Korea. So Mr. Moon will be back in videos. Just hang tight for a little bit. Today I'm talking about how I got 75% scholarship to my university. So people found me online and on Instagram because I applied for the GKS scholarship. I did have a very good and successful interview with the school. I was nominated by my university, but in the final round I did not pass. But my interview was helpful to a lot of people, so I figured that my information, how I got to school and how I'm financially supporting myself through school could help other people as well. So let's get into it. The first question is, how do I get scholarships? There are a lot of scholarships in Korea. This is mostly dependent on what country you're from, so you'll have to do research on that. But today I'm focusing on scholarships you get by applying to your school. Universities in Korea are pretty generous to international students, so a lot of the schools do offer entrance scholarships to international students. This can range from 25, 50, 75, 100% scholarship. They also have merit-based scholarship. So based on your grades throughout your program, you can maintain your scholarship or get more or less scholarship money. When you apply for school, a lot of schools will give you a full scholarship or pretty good scholarship if you can speak Korean fluently. So if you're studying Korean, go ahead and get that TOEIC 4, TOEIC 5, and you're gonna have an easy time through school. I don't speak Korean. I'm going to an English-based program, so I'm going to talk about how I got my entrance and merit-based scholarship. As I said, I applied through it directly through the school. So with that being said, I applied to my school, and with my admission packet, I was offered a scholarship. How do you know if your school offers admission scholarships or merit-based scholarships? This is going to be a lot easier if you know what program you want to study and you have an idea of what universities you want to go to. Once you have that narrowed down, it's going to be a lot easier, and then you can go on to your university's website and either in their international students section, they'll have the scholarships that are available to you, or in the application guidelines, they'll have that listed as well. So my next question is, how do I get the scholarship? So what determines how much percentage I'm going to get? So I got 75%, and I don't think this is just because I'm an American person applying to the school. There are multiple factors that add up to how much money you're going to get for your scholarship, and that is generally from your application packet and your interview skills. Your interview packet has a point system. So when you fill out your application, don't make any typos or extra spaces. Make it as perfect and neatly as possible. Also, list all your skills in your application. So for me, I studied French in Switzerland, so I can speak French, not great, but pretty well. So I put my French abilities in my application packet to show that I can speak French, English, and a little bit of Korean. So include all the things that you're good at in there if it asks for it. I want to include that I am changing my major. I had health sciences related bachelor, and I'm going into international trade. And also GPA wise, I didn't have the best GPA. It was pretty average. So you can get a scholarship even if your GPA isn't the greatest. So how? This is because your statement of purpose or personal essay and your interview skills are very important. For my SOP, I put in a lot of effort. So much effort. And luckily, Mr. Moon also has a master's degree, so he was able to coach me. So if you have someone who has written a state of purpose or knows how to do it, really have them help you and guide you, or, hire a tutor to help you. Really put in a lot of effort into your writing skills. This is so important. For my statement of purpose, I started out by grasping the reader's attention, and to do this, I started talking about my experience with cadaver dissection in my bachelor's degree. So then they are focused, oh, cadaver dissection, interesting. What does this have to do with international trade? So I went on into the letter talking about introducing my school a little bit, talking about what I did there, how my extracurriculars were kind of related to my bachelor's, but also to my interest in international matters. And I talked about how I went abroad as a student, how after I graduated, I went to France and Switzerland to learn French and to learn about international organizations, and how all these things that happened affected me and inspired me to change my major to international trade. I also talked about my research topic, and let me tell you, if you have a different bachelor's program, do as best as possible to connect the previous study to the future study. You have to make some connection there. So I used my research and my career goals to talk about how, oh, my health science background can be related to international trade. So I introduced a strong research topic for them. I think that helps a lot because I know what I want to do. And also I talked about my future goals. And with my future goals, I talked about from the next graduation to 5 to 10 years after that. Having a clear idea about what you want to do is going to be quite helpful as well. And also I want to add that in my letter, I explained why I wanted to change my major and also how my previous experiences could be related to international trade. But since I studied healthcare and did my internship in healthcare and all that, that's pretty private and I can't really share that online. But make a connection. Let them see that you're serious about this major and that you are a good candidate for their school. Now, the second most important thing into getting your scholarship is the points you get from your interview. So I said in my last video, not all schools have an interview, but 2 schools I applied to had interviews. I got accepted to those schools, and I also got offered scholarships to both schools after the interview. For the interview, I really think that it's great to go through. Your professors know who you are, and if you don't look that great on paper, you can show them how great you are in person too. For me, I'm in Korea, and due to COVID, I did 1 interview online, but I also did 1 interview on campus. And the one I did on campus is the school that I chose. My interview was 10 to 15 minutes, and I prepared like crazy for that interview. The whole week before, I prepared so much. I made Mr. Moon practice with me. I made him ask me questions I wasn't expecting. I went through my entire application, through my entire statement of purpose, and made extra questions that I thought they would ask me so I could be prepared to answer them. Practicing interviewing made me much more confident and comfortable with the interview, and also I was prepared for any question they asked. And let me tell you, they asked some questions I did not expect, and I was able to pull through, and I really think that's because I prepared so well for my interview. In my next video, I'm going to talk about my university, the interview, the questions I was asked, what I had worn to the interview, but in this video, I'm just going to talk about how I prepared for the interview. So aside from practicing with Mr. Moon, I prepared a introduction of myself, because when you walk in, they're probably going to ask you, oh, tell us about yourself. So I prepared a 1-minute introduction of myself, and when you introduce yourself, don't make it sound like a summary of what you wrote in your statement of purpose, because they already read that and they want to know more about you. So start with a way to grasp their attention. Tell them about yourself and your drive, why you're studying what you want to study. And from what you put in your introduction, they're probably going to make questions based off of what you just told them. The questions I did prepare were, what did I study at my previous school? Did I do extracurriculars? Why do I want to study in Korea? Why did I choose this topic to study? And why did I choose to conduct it in Korea? What are my strengths and weaknesses? Why should we accept you? And do you have any questions for us? Those are some questions that you can prepare. I prepared really hard for them, and I'm not going to go full into detail of the preparation, what I answered, because not all of them were asked in my interview. And in my next video, I'm going to talk all about the interview. So stay tuned for that. But I hope this helps you get ready for your scholarship application. And I hope if you're watching this video and applying for school that you are successful and can get a great scholarship. So good luck with your applications and your future studies in Korea.